No concern.
So it's supposed to be vanilla chocolate chip ice cream.
Okay.
So, just to point that out for you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate the update.
Alright, so this time, we're gonna start off with the first two, which were from my school that I learned. It was work beyond work. Yes.
Okay.
So this is by Washington Post, adapted by Newslet staff. So, number 1. Americans spend around $10 billion on ice cream every year.
$10 billion on creamy goodness. So I feel that number should be higher. I'm just saying.
Alright. Anything you'd like to say, Dad?
No, I'm listening to your facts.
Okay. Number 2.
You want some more paper ice cream?
Alright. Number 2. Only wealthy ate ice cream in the late 18th century.
Yes, do you know why?
Because it was too expensive for the poor people.
Do you know why?
Because of the ingredients that they used.
Why else?
I'm not answering.
Ice was ridiculously, insanely expensive because they had to...
Yeah, most people didn't have a way to keep it cold in the late 1800s.
Oh, yeah. That's why. But I'm not going to sit here and answer 15,000 questions.
Okay, well, we're just trying to help you out.
Alright, these last 3 are from My Mochi. If you want to go check that out, go
She
Google.
encourages you.
Go Google. Because there was more than 3 on there, trust me. Alright, number 3. It takes 12 pounds of milk to produce 1 gallon of ice cream.
Wow, that's a lot of moo juice.
Yeah. We're lucky cows aren't, on strike.
Yeah.
They probably want to be paid more.
Okay. Alright, number 4. Now, this may occur as weird to you of why someone would, count this, but hey. It takes 50 licks to finish at least 1 scoop of ice cream. So imagine if you had 3 scoops of ice cream. You'd have to lick it 150 times.
And that makes me feel like Monk. I never want to lick anything again.
Number 5. This is the last one, folks. Sorry we had such a low time. Alright, number 5. Chocolate ice cream was invented before vanilla ice cream was. That may occur as weird to you.
It doesn't, because I understand it, but yeah, although back in the day, the flavors were kind of switched. Vanilla was considered to be passion exciting, and it was one of the reasons people feared ice cream, because if it got to the masses, because it would drive them crazy with its goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And clergy feared it, thinking it was food of the devil.
Yeah. Okay.
That was brilliant, Krysta. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for shining a little light in my ice creamless life.
Yep.
It's not ice creamless. We have ice cream in the freezer.
And the visual aids were excellently drawn. And I will be posting those on the Family Plot Facebook group. In fact, they'll probably be on there already once this episode drops. So
yeah.
All right, so let's get back to the goat suckers, shall we? We shall.
Sure.
Now, most of what we know about them comes from a gentleman named Benjamin Radford. He wrote the first extensive book on them and has since appeared on multiple shows to talk about them, including Destination Truth, starring my own favorite hero,
Josh Gates.
Josh Gates. How dare you? Now, opening with the goatsucker mystery, Radford introduced the essential portions of the Chupacabra legend and its different versions, comparing the creature's characteristics with another Bigfoot, which he writes is known for leaving large footprints. In his overview, Radford summarized theories concerning the origin of the Chupacabra, some paranormal or religious in nature, and interviewed several cryptozoologists. In A Brief History of Vampires, Radford wrote about common themes of vampire folklore. While exploring 18th century accounts of European vampires, Radford notes that reports of vampire predation are used to explain otherwise unexplained misfortunes such as disease, malnutrition, or loss of livestock. Chupacabras in popular culture described how, in Radford's view, the legend grew in Puerto Rico from observations by locals of apparent animal predations into rumors of a mysterious creature that was responsible. According to Radford, the news media leapt to conclusions which, in his opinion, further drove alleged sightings and reports to the extent that any odd event was attributed to the Chupacabra. Now, it's hard for me to look at the guy that's done the most extensive study on them to this day and say, I don't think so, but I don't think so. I get mass hysteria. I understand how it works. I understand what drives it. But I don't think we're dealing with that here.
True enough.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Just because these are not witnessless attacks. They have been witnessed. So the Chupacabra, in all three forms, has been seen doing what it does, which is feeding on the blood of living creatures. I don't think all these people are crazy. I do not think all of them mistook it for something else. I think you're dealing with a new creature, and I think that's possible considering where and how it came up. The only thing I can't account for is why there's 3 of them.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah, because when you look at even some of the things that have happened, and I know that there's some notes in here that we're going to get into here in a bit. There's been bodies found that have been DNA tested of what we think are these creatures that are, actually able to be explained, and they're not necessarily, there are reasons why people are seeing these kinds of things.
Okay.
So there have been, I know at least of one case in, I believe there was a body found in Texas of one of these that they believe is a Chupacabra. But when they did the DNA testing, they thought that it was
a mangy coyote?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that one. But that one, to me, looked like a coyote without hair when they were showing the pictures of it. Because a rancher in southern Texas, I want to say, shot it.
Well, no, the one I'm referring to is one that was found after being hit by a car. And the person whose property it was found on, after they said it was just a coyote that had mange, she actually sent it to have DNA testing done with her own money. And it was actually found to be a breed, a crossed breed between coyotes and something else that they hadn't seen before. So it actually was, in a way, a brand new species.
Cool. And that might explain a lot.
That it does, yeah.
Because if the mannish goatsucker, the thing that sits on its haunches to eat, can somehow crossbreed with coyotes and gives us like the doggy version, that makes sense, although it's kind of creepy and weird.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, Krysta, I'd hate to bring Bow Chicka Wow Wow into the family plot, but there was some happening and we just had to let it happen.
Do I look like I care? I just shake my head and nod to the beat. What do you think I'm doing over here? Researching on how the animals make babies? No! I want to stay out of that for as long as possible. Wait until I get into my 20s. Jesus. I'm only 11.
Okay. So, now, so essentially for the last 25 years, we have documented this, and the guy that's done most of the documenting is Ben Radford. Mm-hmm. And as I'm reading through the notes that you so kindly did, thank you, Laura, as I'm reading through, I'm seeing like, it looks like he does think it's a real thing, but it's rare, a lot rarer than we know, because he's looking for cryptozoological originations of it.
Right.
Which says that he suggests that it's real, but he's also sort of poo-poos that every attack is a chupacabra, which makes a certain amount of sense.
Sorry.
But it still deals with the fact that you have hundreds,
if not thousands of attacks
every year.
Right.
Where creatures are
being drained of
blood. Not completely exsanguinated, because the one thing that if you do any research into chupacabras, you'll find is that almost nothing is completely exsanguinated. It's bled, but they're light on blood, not empty of blood.
Gotcha.
Which
they don't bleed them dry.
Right. They make a meal out of them, and sometimes, well, there's not enough blood left to keep them alive afterwards. And they apparently will feed on anything.
Oh.
If it's kept as livestock or on a farm, it's been attacked, including cats and, unfortunately, rabbits.
Sorry, Team Bunny.
Sorry, Team Bunny. But it's also attacked people. There's also people who swear they've been attacked by it. Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless you're dealing with an injured or sick animal and it doesn't have it doesn't have a way of feeding otherwise.
Well, you wouldn't think that an injured or sick animal would think, oh hey, let me attack a human.
But you would if you think about it. Although, you have to be dealing with a place where they don't have cows.
Yeah.
So because cows don't run.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a cow run anywhere. I've seen them walk fast, but I've never seen a cow run. At least not domesticated cattle. So,
no domesticated cow running. That's not how it works.
Well, they will.
So if you're in an area where they don't keep domesticated cattle, I see humans as being an option only because humans, of all the animals, tend to be fat and slow. And fairly easy prey. Now, true, we have other things like our intelligence, which allows us to invent and carry guns, that makes us more difficult, but that's not easily assessed by looking at us.
Yep. It's not like they can look into your brain and think, oh, if that's what they're doing, actually probably shouldn't attack you.
Mm.
So, and it makes sense to me that there's not that many reports of chupacabras attacking people. Or if they have, it's been I'm leaving now and you're in my way.